Once you can focus on the opportunities that surround you, you can find new meaning in the disability. It won't necessarily help you get back on the same track you were on before, but it will provide you a way to continue moving forward instead of feeling stuck, lost, or incapable. Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Deep End. I am your host, Alyssa Dawn, and today I wanted to talk about something related to my own growth and the choices I've made to build a mindset for healing, transforming, and overall well-being. With that being said, today's topic is disability and how your view on it can greatly impact the opportunities life brings. So oftentimes a disability is seen as limiting. Being disabled, pretty much it means that you are not abled. In many ways, a disability is limiting. But as with all things, there is a balance to being disabled. While there are things that are taken away, there are other things, other opportunities that are actually presented if we are willing to be open to them. The key to recognizing these opportunities lies in your ability to let go of your expectations on how things should be in order to accept reality as it actually is. Only when you are able to accept your present, your now, your starting point, only then will you gain understanding and be able to make effective change internally and externally. I touched on the limitations of carrying expectations in a previous episode, so I'll leave a link to that down below. I'd rather do that than reiterate everything I shared all over again. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, I highly recommend you check that out before continuing with this one. Aside from talking about expectations in that episode, I also share an experience I had earlier this year regarding stubbornly clinging to my own expectations and the effect that it was having on my life. As a quick summary for our purposes today, expectations limit your view of the playing field in front of you, and because of this, it also limits what you allow to enter your life. While you hold on to expectations, opportunities may present themselves to you, but if those opportunities don't fall within your acceptable expectations, you won't recognize them as opportunities, and they will be missed. It is only when you allow yourself to let go of your expectations and your need to control what comes next that you are able to engage in a more freeing way. If you focus on trusting yourself and your purpose and remain mindful that your actions are aligned with your intentions, you don't have to hold on so tight to trying to control your environment and also what is offered to you. Now, I don't believe this is a one and done action. I truly believe that it requires constant tuning and calibration as you face each new moment, and this is because each moment you are offered a choice. If you had built up a habit of leaning on your expectations, then you are given a chance to either lean on those habits or to forge a new path. From my experience with my disability, even when I have a symptom flare-up that is similar to a previous occasion, it's always a new situation, and it requires me to make the choice in the present what response I want to have, regardless of how many times before I've had to make that choice. I do have to say that obviously with repetition and with constantly maintaining focus in a specific direction by thinking certain thoughts, it does help create an automatic response, and then that's what helps to impact your mindset overall. For a bit of background about my own experience, I currently have an invisible disability. I was injured in a car accident and sustained a head injury resulting in a concussion. The fallout of the injury included a post-traumatic migraine that now, over 4 months on, I still experience when I push too far. One of the hard things is because it is a head injury and it is invisible, it's hard to really gauge what is potentially too much and what is too little, or where exactly it is being housed. Aside from that, I've experienced brain fog, word loss, sensitivity to light, noise. I've needed to retrain and increase endurance for my eyes' ability to focus on books, screens, people during conversations, walking down hallways, and on and on. Prior to my injury, I was working an average of 55 hours a week at a full-time job while also building my coaching business, taking courses to continue bettering myself, and trying to manage other life duties and responsibilities. So pretty much I was often working 12 to 14 or more hours a day, 7 days a week, in order to fit all of these things in. Obviously, this was unsustainable after I was injured. I went from nonstop productivity to lying in bed with a blanket over my eyes, not even listening to podcasts at the beginning because the noise was too much. Over the past few months, I've been retraining my brain on automatic tasks, vestibular training, and also getting it comfortable with heightened activity with cardiovascular training. Speaking honestly, yes, I am emotionally affected by my disability. It is an ongoing process, and I've been making leaps and strides forwards while having to take steps back here and there, while just continuing to repeat this pattern of recovery and having some lulls and then continuing forward. But that's just kind of how all recoveries happen. None necessarily happen in a straight path that's clearly defined. And so just working through all of that. But because it is ongoing, I feel like I'm speaking from a place of like really being in it and living it. And so I can seriously, most definitely say with no doubt or hesitation that there is not, like, it is not an automatic response to just be like, oh, well, it looks like I've taken a few steps back in my recovery. I have no idea when I'll be doing things I was doing before, but that's all right since it'll happen all in good time. Like, no, it's not easy to come to that decision and just be at peace with it when there are a lot of variables at play and you're constantly trying to recalibrate your approach in order to get to a place of recovery, especially when you don't always know exactly what that recovery looks like. But especially because I had been working so hard and for so long to make my business a reality and be able to get to a place that I can provide more structured support to others in their personal discovery and spiritual awakening, this injury forced me to put all of that on the back burner. So yeah, it wasn't always easy to see the benefits a disability presents. It's hard and it requires constant commitment to a growth mindset, always focusing on where you want to get to without making that game plan a hard expectation. You gotta leave breathing room, allowing space for a larger than normal inhale or exhale as you continue to move forward, having faith that it will all make sense in hindsight. I do have moments of overwhelm, frustration, and fear of how things will work out, but I choose a mindset built on flexibility and focus on the opportunities presented to me. Gaining abilities from a disability does sound counterintuitive, but that's exactly what it is. For myself, while I had to step away from building my business, including learning the skills needed behind the scenes to support a website, creating the needed waivers and disclaimers, content creation, blog posts, YouTube videos, coaching programs and challenges, and on and on and on and on and on. While my disability put a firm hold on those things, once I was able to let go of the frustration that I couldn't do what I had planned, that's when I was able to explore the new space in front of me and find the opportunities my disability presented. First, my disability provided me time to rest. In actuality, it required and forced me to rest, but I like to say that it provided me rest. From working long hours for months on end, I was finally able to rest and was given probably the only reason I couldn't work around to make sure that I actually did rest. It also provided for me to take a break from creation and turn my attention to connection with others. Instead of getting caught up on what I was going to create, how I wanted to create it, and just so stuck in my own head of bringing things to the front and manifesting and putting into reality these things that were once just thought, instead, I spent a lot of my early days in the recovery listening to podcasts I was able to listen before I could look at a screen, and so podcasts, once they were available to me, were my main source of entertainment, engagement, and honestly, I found a lot of podcasts I never would have found otherwise if not for the fact that I was completely required to just rest nonstop. Aside from all of that, since my interactions outside of myself were limited, I also gained the opportunity to strengthen my meditation practice. I was able to continue to work on being comfortable in the silence with myself, and this even led to what I currently see as the largest opportunity, or maybe not the largest, but one of the most important opportunities I would never have had without my injury, and that is uncovering my intuitive and energetic strengths. It was in my quiet time alone and resting that I began to notice some inner thoughts and urges grow stronger, and these inspired thoughts led to me meeting my spirit guides synchronously, getting my first Reiki attunements after years of wanting to, but never feeling quite ready to do so, and to also recover and heal other aspects of myself that I didn't realize still needed to be mended. Recovery from this disability has led to the healing and transformation of my entire being, inside and out. It has shown me that I have more strengths than those that were stripped away during my injury. And while I do not know when I'll be fully recovered, I do know that I will be a much stronger person than before, since I've chosen to continue growing during a time that at first glance seems like it's stalled. And this is where I pass the question to you. Whether you have a disability or a self-imposed limitation, if you were to let go of your frustration and disappointment that things aren't going how you want them to, what would you focus on instead? How could you use your energy to promote continued growth? If you don't see opportunities, what could be blocking your view? How would you disassemble those blocks? As you work to disassemble them, what would you want to find behind them? Once you can focus on the opportunities that surround you, you can find new meaning in the disability. It won't necessarily help you get back on the same track you were on before, but it will provide you a way to continue moving forward instead of feeling stuck, lost, or incapable. You are more than your limitations. You are more than your expectations. You are capable of shifting your mindset to support you wherever you are in life. And you are worthy to live the life you were called to live. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who you think may enjoy it too. Please also leave a review since this helps for others to find the podcast as well. And if you have anything you'd like to share, please add a comment regarding your experience with a disability and focusing on opportunities on the blog at dawningperspective.com or message me directly. Other than this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at dawningperspective and join the mailing list to become a deep thinker today. Deep thinkers have access to the resource library containing free workbooks and exercises to support your personal growth and spiritual awakening. Also included are free templates and stickers that you can use in your journals and planners. I personally love using my digital planner, and the free templates in the library are the same ones I use to stay inspired, organized, and mindful on a daily basis of what I am doing and how I'm maintaining balance in my life. Other than getting these awesome freebies, you will also receive a 50% off coupon code that you can use when booking your first distant Reiki session with me. I offer distant Reiki internationally, so please check out the schedule. And if my availability doesn't match up with your time zone, please feel free to contact me directly, and I'll see what we can do to connect at another time. This is everything I felt called to share, so we have reached the end of this episode. Until next time, I hope all is well with you and yours. Bye.